saying, hey, she made it, she went through the same problems, I can do this too.
Yes.
But but I see that when I go to different schools and different school districts and everything else, how sometimes it is almost looked upon as a negative thing if you happen to be Latino or from Mexico or something like that, that you do speak another language
Yes,
other
yes.
than the Queen's English.
And it's really sad because you would think that we'd be further than that. You would think that we've grown from what we've seen since our civil rights movements in this country. I mean, we talk about embracing diversity. We talk about embracing differences between social, backgrounds and ethnic backgrounds. We are in a. I love this community. This community is mainly at the high school. I can tell you right now that it's mainly Latino students, and some of them are embarrassed to speak in Spanish, and I'll speak to them in Spanish, and they're like, "Oh, you speak Spanish?" Yes, I proudly speak Spanish, and I tell them, you need to hold on and develop that language that you were given by birth, and you're lucky because nowadays we need to have as much as we have. We need to keep it and we need to embrace it and we need to be proud of where we come from. I was not born in Mexico. I was born here in Hemet. I am a local. And I'm very proud to say that, I'm probably going to stay in this community to make it better. That was my goal when I went back to school. I came back to school 8 years after I graduated. In fact, I just got invited to my 20 class year reunion and I said no because really the people putting it on were the jocks and the cheerleaders that I never hung around with. So I really didn't see why am I going to pay to go mess around with somebody that I really never messed around with. So really I stay true to myself. The friends that I've had along my life, I've kept. Not the social butterfly, but certainly somebody that's willing to fight for a cause. And justice, educational justice is one of those causes that I fight for every day.
And I hear that in your voice, and I hear it in what you're saying and how strongly you say it. Because again, we are picked on because driving white brown by our police officers and that type of thing. Has anything like that ever happened to you because of the color of your skin? Have you been slowed down or stopped or something just because you just happen to look? You're brown, so they're
Well,
saying.
Can I say something? They won't even deliver pizza down my house.
I mean, no. You say whatever you want to say because I do put things on it saying that viewer discretion advised or something like that. You can say whatever you want, or however you want to say it.
I live in Paris, and I live in downtown Paris, old Paris. They won't even deliver pizzas to my place. I mean, you call in a pizza and they'll say it's an hour and 45 minutes. Are you kidding? It's only 5 minutes to make it. So that tells you, friends of mine used to joke and say, "Oh, we're going to Little Compton." I've never been in Compton, so I wouldn't be able to compare it. But I lived in the same house that I grew up in. I proudly say that I'm probably gonna stay there. I'm a stable person because I don't believe in flying away. I'm not one to be found in the white flight, part of town. I will be one to stay and change the face of my community. And I proudly share my story with my neighbors, and they know that we are a family that has been in the area. And my number one thing when I came back to college was to set an example. I did hair for 10 years, and one time one person told me, "You are the only one to hold yourself back." And those words kind of were a little bit hurtful, but they made me realize that, you know what? I really need to go back and do what I had to do. And mind you, I graduated with magna cum laude honors. I really didn't know what that meant until I had yellow cords around me and a yellow stole. And
you stood out.
Yes.
Than the rest from everybody else.
And all it was working hard, not smart. Working really hard and just setting that example for my children, because all they know is mom went to school, we were kids, all we did was homework, and yes, we played hard, but we also work hard.
And so in that thought, which you're talking about being Mexican and dealing with trying to get the diversity, because it only seems, as I talk to different people, the word diversity only comes from us.
Yes.
It never comes from the 1%.
Yes.
It doesn't come from the other side. So is it to you, in your opinion, does it seem like we're trying harder to be diverse while they're not?
I'll tell you that being of the not majority.
Okay.
if that's the word to choose.
You call them Anglo-American Europeans.
Yeah, the majority.
Yeah.
I feel that I have to work harder to prove myself. And I instill that in my children. Always work harder to prove yourself, because you're expected to fail and you're expected to not take advantage of the opportunities. You have to take advantage of those opportunities. You can't be embarrassed